I'm going to call to order the January 16th meeting of the Tree Board. We'll start with a roll call. Here we have Mike Bender.
Here.
Glenn Giacoletto.
Here.
Dallas Pearson.
Present.
Marge Sagstetter.
Here.
Mike Sarla.
Here.
I'm Nick Cantala. I am here. In attendance, we also have Deb, our Master Gardener Liaison. We have Mayor Zabel, and we have Jim filling in for Lauren tonight. That's everybody. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance then.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 5 here, approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any changes they want to make to that before we approve it and move forward? What we need to do there?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from our previous meeting?
I found a typo in it on page 6, number B, second sentence. That is supposed to be wasabi cherry, not wasabi.
Not a spicy cherry.
That sounds cool, though. Wasabi cherry, got it.
That's a new plant, I guess.
You know, that's how these things happen, I think. Just like typos. No, that'd be a cool plant name. I'm using it. All right, so
Could I ask a question about the minutes? Is that appropriate? Can I ask a question about that? It's the section about the policy and operations about the word hazard and nuisance. I tried to read through that and understand what the conversation was, but it seemed to me like that's almost like a legal thing that the lawyers, the attorneys for the city would be able to define what's the best word to use in there, hazard or nuisance. And maybe I'm just misunderstanding because I was excused for that meeting. Can anybody, like, 2 cents, what that was the result of that conversation? Do you remember?
I remember
It was
having a
September. It was a
conversation.
long
It was
time ago.
Mayor Zabel's on it, though.
Okay, yeah,
I can
Mayor.
jump in here because I was honored to join you guys in September.
Thank you.
The crux of that conversation was, in regards to EAB and what the current language in the city code directs staff to do in terms of mitigating it on private property. This is something that every city is trying to get their arms around. Current language in the city code, I think the language is hazard. Well, hey, Jim, do you know? No, I'm not going to put you on the spot. The question was whether that we should change the language in the city code to be either more clear or whether the language is adequately clear enough. The recommendation from me representing the city council was that the language is clear enough. It does provide enough detail and direction to staff to mitigate EAB on private property. But, there was a little bit of wordplay conversation there. Could we be more clear? Do we need to be more clear? In the end, it sounds like the tree board decided, we probably have enough in there to address the underlying problem that we're trying to get at.
Okay. Okay, and maybe part of my confusion is in section E of that, the minutes, third paragraph, the first sentence in Mayor Zabel's opinion under the city code, nuisance is defined as presence of, period. So it's not defined in the minutes, so I'm like, okay, maybe I should have gone to the code and read it. But then, I don't know, then it just sounded like, well, maybe we should go to hazard because that's very clear. It's going to hurt something. Where nuisance is like, excuse me, a pain in the something factor. So, that to me then, just reading this, I thought, maybe the outcome is we should go to something that's a little stronger word like hazard because that's going to hurt person, place, thing, whatever. And nuisance is, rubbing on someone's roof. I don't know.
Hazard could theoretically create like a legal obligation, though. Like that's the.
Yeah, and in the context of Emerald Ash Borer, if a tree is dying but not fully dead or in danger of falling on somebody's fence or house, should the city have remediation efforts or
I
abilities to take care of that? We do under the definition of nuisance, because our efforts as a city in promoting public welfare, health, all of that is, containing invasive species. So under the current city code, by simply identifying the presence of EAB, the city can force remediation, even if it's not harming a building or a fence or anything else, because we are trying to contain it.
Got it.
Yep.
That's, I was looking at it from a different perspective, so thank you for clarifying that, and that's helpful. Yes, that was my only question about the minutes.
Thank you. Okay, so we have one amendment, changing wasabi cherry to masabi cherry, the correct spelling. Other than that, anything we need to address in the minutes?
Well, there is then in that third paragraph of section E, there's something missing at the end of the first sentence. Nuisance is defined as the presence of, something's cut off there.
Yeah, it probably just needs like an ellipses, presence of,
EAB.
yeah, or whatever.
Right, they're underlined, whatever that means, the missing word or sentence, so. But I don't know if you can capture that off the recording or how that would be amended. There's a missing something there.
Just ask for it to be amended to include the word EAB, presence of EAB.
Well, but that wouldn't be the only nuisance, though. There's other things that would categorize a nuisance. That's just one of them.
Mayor Zabel, do you remember what you were intending to say?
There's a recording of
Mr.
this,
Chair,
right?
members of the board, I mean, in that conversation, we had talked about, I think it was Oakdale. Well, I think there are 3 nuisances to find under the tree ordinance. It's EAB, it's oak wilt, and
Elm disease, probably.
probably Dutch
okay,
elm.
the big
Yeah.
3.
And so it is confined to those 3.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it couldn't be expanded in the future, but for current enforcement mechanisms, that is what is prescribed under the code.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, thanks.
Would be an opportunity to add something like presence of tree defect and broaden it. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, all right.
Okay. What would you like to see done differently with the minutes then, Marge? Would you?
Clarify what that nuisance is defined as. And if
Okay.
it's those 3 things you just mentioned, then add those, EAB.
Would you like to have it say like presence of parenthetically condition? Would that describe that well enough for you? Like if we were to like,
Well, he just said the big 3 diseases, right? Those are the nuisances?
Mr. Chair, one recommendation I can make is just saying nuisances as defined by the city code.
okay,
Yep.
Perfect.
That way it goes back to whatever is in there.
Is there.
Yep.
Thank
would
you.
like that to then read
Yeah.
policy change recommendation from, quote, presence of nuisance as defined by city code.
Perfect. Thank you.
That would make you happy?
Yeah.
We just
yeah,
wanna make you
thank
happy, Marge.
I was trying to understand and it struggling with it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right, well then, can I get an approval? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved as amended. All right then, item 7, open forum. Anybody have anything they would like to bring up before we move on to old business?
I could bring one thing up from the state tree care advisors and the tree steward program, which used to be called the Citizen Pruner Program. There's been an effort made to work with the watershed. I guess it's WCD, Watershed, I don't know what that stands for exactly, WCD, Watershed District here in Oakdale, for the whole Washington County, to have a Washington County-based tree steward program, so some training, and then that the Washington County Watershed District would supervise or coordinate that program. So there was a meeting a week or 2 ago with Jay Riggs, who's, I don't know if what his title is, president, whatever, executive director of that organization, to try to move forward some training so we can have more residents in our community and the county trained as tree stewards that, pretty much just do pruning on our feet not on a ladder. It's developmental pruning, things like that. So free program, but sponsored by the U of M Forestry Department and looking for an organization. Oakdale had one of those trainings some years back. I don't know if any of you were there. I was there. Some of the staff were there. But, you know, and Lauren's introduced it a little bit. I do some pruning through that program with and for Lauren and in the city of Oakdale, but we're looking to grow that beyond, well, within and beyond Oakdale, across the whole county. So just heads up, there should be some training coming up. We're knocking on wood about in the next maybe 6 months or less to get some training going on for people who want to and love trees and want to prune.
Awesome.
Okay?
Good pruning is hard to find.
Yeah. Lots of practice.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to add during the open forum? Well, we can move on to old business. We'll get an update on the tree giveaway. I know we've got most of the trees that we wanted to look for available. Jim, you got an update for us?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Quick update on the tree giveaway trees this year. We were able to order 3 of the 4 trees that were approved through the tree board the last meeting. We were able to get the buckeye, the ironwood, and the yellowwood trees. The contender peach was not available this year. So currently we have 2 options to fill in for that. One would be a bur oak, or the second one would be a Honeycrisp apple. So I guess we'd be looking for the direction on that.
All right. Well,
Thoughts?
I would like to open the floor then to the commissioners and see what you guys think. I've got opinions, but I don't want to influence you guys.
I would choose the oak over the Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp has not been known to be a consistent fruit tree. That's one of the reasons why you don't get, you can't buy from garden centers anymore some of the new apples coming out from the U. So that's my opinion.
Glenn, no, Mark, go
I
ahead.
was just going to ask, is that because it hasn't been tested long enough?
I don't know what the reason is. They're saying it's got to be a certain soil, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I've had a Honeycrisp for 15 years and a Zestar for 10 years, and the Zestar has always produced, and I've gotten apples once off of the Honeycrisp, so.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, you know, a lot of the public asks, okay, they want fruit trees, and we've had, the past couple of years, we've not been able to get any fruit trees. So, you know, there could be a pent-up demand for more fruit trees. But if it's not a good selection, then,
Yeah,
Buckeye is technically a fruit tree, Marge.
well, that's
Yeah,
true. But
the ra- the
are
ra-
people going to really be
The
eating?
rationale is because when the pandemic happened, everybody was buying fruit trees because they knew how tough it was to get food, so they wanted to grow their own. So even small fruits were totally sold out.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to then move forward with the trees, you know, the apple tree suggestion if it's not recommended as a variety.
Mike?
Bales?
I lean to the master gardeners on the board as far as their opinions.
Okay.
I guess for myself, is just, I go by, one of my former colleagues at 3M, she and her husband own an orchard in Wisconsin. And just from my talks with her, I'm kind of in agreement with Michael, is that Honeycrisp is maybe not a terribly suitable tree for the average homeowner who doesn't really know how to take care of it properly to get it to fruit. And of course, I love oaks anyway, so just from the whole standpoint of looking at who the trees are going to, I think most people, homeowners, they want to have, to be able to not have to go to great lengths to be able to take care of a particular tree, because it might be a little more difficult than just leaving it alone and let it do its thing. So, yeah, I've been inclined to go for the oak also.
Okay. Dallas, how you feel?
I go to the oak just because it's Oakdale.
I'm with
We
you on
we
that
have a
one.
dearth of oaks around.
With you on that one. We also, like, if you start up on Hadley up by 10th Street and come down past City Hall, there's like, I don't know, 100 some crab apples.
The crab apple.
There's just, and we've given away
Yes.
crab apples so much at the tree giveaway. I would just be inclined to not give away any Malus species. I know that an apple is different than a crab apple,
Right.
but
Great.
I think that we should.
Have we had oak on the giveaways lately?
I think we gave away a
Last
Bur Oak
year.
last year.
Swamp
Yeah.
oak we
Oh,
give
it
away.
was a
Swamp
swamp
white
oak.
oak,
Okay,
yeah.
it was a swamp white. But yeah, I'd be totally happy giving away a Bur Oak. I think that'd be cool. I love those things.
I'd
So
vote
I
for
think,
Bur Oak.
I think the crabapple trees are because they're low underneath the power lines and they stay small.
Totally. They're a great tree in the right spot. There's just so many of them, and that all if we give away more, they're all just going to get apple scab. So just not going to do that. Add to the pressure. Okay. Well, I think we're all pretty much in agreement here that we want to go with. We would recommend going with the Bur Oak rather than the Honeycrisp apple as an option.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you have anything else they want to add about that before we move on? Okay. Well, the next thing listed here is the election of our chair and vice chair positions. So at this point, I would need to open up the floor for nominations.
I'll nominate, since he won't do it himself, Nick Cantola as chair. And then Marge Sykes-Setter as vice chair.
We need a second, if anybody want to.
Oh, second.
Oh, they're not,
didn't think
they do not require a second, but you can to show support. Okay, so,
I make a motion that nominations close.
that one we probably need a second for.
Second.
All right.
Thank
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, then, do we need to vote then if there was no, all right,
You could vote by acclamation on this one, since there's no other nominees.
all right. Well then, it's us then, Marge.
We need to have a vote.
We're just good to go
Right.
then, right?
Vote of acclamation,
We
everybody
all
just
have to
says.
say yes or no.
aye,
All-
so-
Yeah,
Okay then,
yeah.
all in favor, okay. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks.
We are flying through this agenda, you guys.
I have one question on the old business. Do we have a date for the tree giveaway? Is that confirmed?
Should be Arbor Day.
It is
Day after Arbor Day, right? Yeah.
day after Arbor Day, okay. All right, thank you. I didn't, April 27th, Deb? Thank you. Okay.
Put that in the calendar now. Okay. Jim, do you have any updates for us as staff liaison?
Sure, I have a quick update. Couple updates on what the crew is up to. They're still working on some emerald ash borer removals on boulevards. When those are done, they'll be moving into the parks, in the mowed areas in the parks, continuing working on those. It's one of the good, I guess, benefits of the weather we've been having this year is it's allowed the crew to get out and do more of that work. It's also afforded the opportunity to have some work from some of the other departments, divisions at Public Works help out. The street crew was helping with doing some stump grinding in December, towards the end of December when the weather was still good. So
Very cool.
good progress is being made on that. And the other thing I have to update is the Tree City USA application and the growth award have been submitted. They've gone through state approval and they're at the Arbor Day Foundation now. So we haven't heard anything back on those yet, but they've made it through the state approvals and onto the Arbor Day Foundation. I think that's all I have. I'm available for questions. If anybody has any, I can try to answer them.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Is that just an award or is there a monetary amount with it?
The growth award, that's just an award. It recognizes our efforts, so it's a lot of work. It recognizes the efforts that you folks on the tree board, as well as the city staff, has put into the commitment to trees.
Primarily the city staff.
It's with the tree board direction, though, so it couldn't be done without everyone.
That's awesome. I look forward to hearing more about that when we find out that we got it. Any other questions for Jim?
I have a question. I know there were 2 people interested in our vacancies, and is that gone through council, and what's the timing to get that person who is replacing Kathy on the board? Do we know?
I believe we still need to schedule interviews with them before they can go to the council.
Oh, okay,
So I'll work with Lauren on that later this week.
okay. I was hoping to meet one of them in person. I don't one, but the other lady.
Sure.
Yeah. Excellent, thank you.
Awesome. Commissioner updates. Does anybody have anything for us?
I guess if anyone wants a copy of the Growth Award from the Tree City USA, it's available, it's many pages, those 85 categories to look at. But if we think about, our work this year and maybe select a couple items that we could work towards, maybe, that could go in the meeting minutes. And then at our next meeting, we could talk about maybe a couple potential things that we can work on this year.
Should we come back to the March meeting with some ideas?
Right, and I'd be glad to bring forward a couple suggestions. I've looked at that a couple times, and
Yeah, please.
I'll bring forward. But I think it'd be good for you to just kind of glance through it, because there's just a lot of cool ideas and things that I think as a community and growing our impact in the community, there's things we could do that would be fun and cool for the citizens. And
Do you have quick access to that?
yeah.
Because if you want, you could send it out to us. That would be
Sure, I can just
super
send, should I
helpful.
just send a link to the board members?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will do that. I
wanna give
think
everyone
Mike already
homework,
has a copy, but, and Glenn, because we talked about maybe working as a sub-team of this committee, but I'll send it to everybody. It would be good for you all to just take a look and,
Yeah.
oh, I like that one, let's work on, And then they're all worth different amounts of points, again, so you have to strategically think about, well, if we need 10 points, what are the things that can get us there? And not just this year, but next year and maybe in the next few years, handful of years. So we don't do it all in 1 year and then, you only need 10. So, okay, I'll send that to everybody. Deb, you too? Spring planting, we need a date. Oh, right. Do we have a date for the spring planting? That's another question. It's not on the agenda, but it probably should have been.
My bad.
That's all right, totally.
I don't have any information on an available date
Okay.
right now.
I believe the plan was to plant more trees, or at least what Lauren mentioned at the Buckthorn event was to do more trees along 40th, to continue that project we did last year and go further. It would be east and north, I think, on that road, but maybe 40 more trees as like a low-income
Yeah.
area,
That was a good
housing.
project.
Yeah, to continue that, but we do need to pick a date. If we want to, for Master Gardeners, we need to recruit. And, spring gets so busy, so earlier we can get something out to try to get some supervisors would be good.
Speaking of master gardeners, what is the requirement to get, for like an event, to get volunteer hours to qualify for that?
I'll let, Deb, do you want to?
So like we had talked earlier about maybe having like members of the tree board lead tree tracks, like a guided tree track. Like, could we get some master gardeners to volunteer to do that if they needed volunteer hours? Is that something that would qualify? Definitely. Okay.
Actually, Sally Manzera Nature Center just is building a tree track right now. They use some of our information to model theirs on, and they are going out with guided tours once a month is their goal, is to have like one Saturday a month, have a guided tour. And that is, Tony Manzera came and talked to our tree squad from Washington County Master Gardeners, and That is definitely accountable hours for us as master gardeners, anything that's, you know, applicable to our role, so, and educating the public. So totally, that would be something that we could do an outreach for Oakdale as well, as Tony Manzera is doing out there. So that's a great question. We just need to get the mechanism. We need to do like a train the trainer.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Mike, we'd pull you out there and like help you could help us do a train the trainer, set up something, and all of us could attend. Master gardeners, we could invite them to attend, and then try to get it set up on a regular basis.
Yeah.
To do a walk from the east to the west, or, you know, the whole walk could be, the trek would be a long trek if you did the whole thing. But we could do a east to west or west to east, and something like that. But I'm not sure if our literature is, or our map is current. Does anybody know? Deb, do you know? Yeah, we need to get the map updated, I think, first, and make sure our maintenance looks good. And then I think we could go to train the trainer and then effectively introduce that as a public service to the community. That'd be a priority, would be to get that, the literature, the map, and there hasn't been maps apparently at the Discovery Center recently. So that needs to be updated, and I think that's a communication thing with the staff here. But yeah, we could do it.
Cool.
Probably get a growth award for it. Okay, what else?
We have a set time of May to do spring planting, as we do for Arbor Day. Like, perhaps I was looking at the calendar, and Mother's Day is not good, which is always the second Sunday, so the second weekend would be out. And this year, Tartan's prom is the first weekend in May. So I suggest we name the third weekend in May as the spring planting.
Yeah, I'm amenable to that.
And it wouldn't be an issue every year.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what Deb is referring to is trying to get a regular schedule for all of these 3 events so that we can have probably clear communication to the public and to the schools. If we set these up, you know, every tree giveaway is the Saturday after Arbor Day, every spring planting is the 3rd Saturday in May, and every buckthorn event is whatever, the 2nd Saturday in October, so that we can, you know, I don't know if you guys heard at the end of the buckthorn event, we found out that the school made a mistake because there were hardly any students there this fall. They came on the wrong day to the wrong place.
Oh, no.
And that young man I talked to said he was pretty sure it was the teachers just posted the wrong information because they apparently put a calendar out with all these volunteer events that the students can come to. And it just had the wrong day and time, and they all went over to Walton Park on the wrong day. And we weren't there, so they went home. So we learned that, and I think that's a good idea that Deb has to try to be, have a rhythm to it, and then the teachers and, you know, we will all get it on our calendars earlier than later.
Yeah.
So if that works for everybody, that's, I think, a proposal on the floor. I don't think we need to vote about it, but Lauren, of course, would want to, you know, have 2 cents and.
Yeah, we can
into this.
absolutely recommend that to Lauren, that we pick a specific, what was it, 3rd Saturday was your recommendation?
Be the most obvious.
Yeah.
Well, and probably a big push for this is to get it in the Oakdale update because it's missed now the publication date
Yeah.
for the spring. And so it's really then hard. We just have social media left
Yeah, that's true.
to, you know, which is good. I mean, it's great. It's maybe 75%, but a lot of people still read those. Yeah, it needs to be in print. I totally agree. Okay. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you, Deb.
Yeah, that was a great suggestion.
Anybody have strong feelings about that? I think it's a great idea.
No, I think it's good that we establish a date. Yeah, it just makes perfect sense.
Great. Rhythm. Yeah,
We'll recommend that to Lauren then.
thanks.
Okay. I think all that's left then is a council update. Mayor Zabel, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. Nice to be with you again. Congrats, Nick and Marge, on your reelection to leadership roles. Not too much from the City Council. So we always cancel the second meeting in December every year around the holidays. So that means we wrap up the budget before that. So end of December, we adopted our 2024 operating budget and tax levy. Some highlights of that, Oakdale will be hiring 3 new police officers as part of the budget. 1 additional public works employee, desperately needed. They have a lot of work going on as we grow. We also just have a number of development items going on in our community. We can see it all around us. And so our budget reflects a lot of those changes of a growing community. So I'm always happy to talk budget with anybody. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to let me or any of the council members know. Otherwise, like I said, development is hot in Oakdale and the East Metro right now. The bus rapid transit project continues to move forward. We've seen the opening of the Helmo-Bielenberg overpass over I-94. I think tomorrow the 4th Street Bridge closes.
Tomorrow, yes.
Yes, they gave us 2 days. They delayed it a little bit, but that bridge is being removed and replaced as part of the bus rapid transit project. We will finally have dedicated pedestrian walking space on that path, which is a huge bonus for our community. That has been a problem for a long time. So that will be a headache for a lot of people in our community. We ask for everybody's patience, but it is definitely a better product coming out on the other side. So we are excited about that.
I'm sorry, it's going to be a couple of years, isn't it?
No, it'll be done by, I think, November. They have it slated for. So just 1 construction season. So it'll be done yet this year. So it's pretty amazing how they can just build those bridges off site and slide them into place, and then they're good to go. So I know a lot of people were astonished at how fast Helmo-Bielenberg went up over I-94. A couple weekend road closures, and they had those pieces in place. So it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't take a lot, but it definitely can be done a lot faster than it used to be. So other than that, not too much from the City Council front. So I am happy to answer any questions you may have. Nothing?
We do like that new overpass on Bielenberg. We've
is
taken
nice.
that a number of times now. We really like that.
Yes, having 2 access points into our neighboring communities is definitely a change, but a very positive change. So, we wouldn't have that overpass if not for the bus rapid transit project. So it has been a beneficial project already, and we're excited to see what additional comes out of it. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay.
You're just cooking down this agenda. That is everything that is listed. Before we bring this meeting to a close, does anybody have anything else they need to bring up?
I move to adjourn.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Well, then this meeting is adjourned.
Hey,
I touched the gavel. It was
Yay,
exciting.
you did it.
Gavel. Get it's there.
I know. Great, thanks. Good job.
Congratulations on your railroading to.
Very exciting. Thank you, Dallas.
This is for Lauren.
Right.
I helped him with that EAB grant. And this is, since we've not had any questions
As
for
long as you
quite a
guys
while
keep
now.
trusting me,
I
it's
told
fine.
him
I'd rather
the
have somebody
final-
who's
I mean, he's got a
knowledgeable in chair,
shortened version
so
of
you
all
can
this,
guide
but
it.
this is all the data
Great.
that went into that.
All right, I'll get it to him tomorrow.
All right, thank
We
you.
should voice this off on Mike Bender next year. That's what I think we should do.
All right, I got to be the heavy hand here.
Okay.
You can't send that link to all the commissioners.
Oh, I was wondering, nobody said no to that. Okay,
I was
so,
going to shout it from.
no, who do I
You
send
can
it to?
me,
Yeah,
or
who's
you can
the,
send it to Jim, and then we can get it out to all the commissioners.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
Communication.
That's what I thought.
commissioners are-
I kind of was like, really? Okay.
So send it to either of us. And we can get it out.
All right, perfect. Perfect. I will do that. I
want him to go to jail.
I understand, and as soon as it was said,
Mike,
send it
thank
to
you
us.
for
and
weighing in on
we're
tree
like,
stuff. I
sure.
appreciate it very much.
But we will be sure to get it out.
Okay, that'd be great, thanks.
Jim,
All right.
Coming from a nursery guy, it's nice to hear which plants are no good.
So I can't send that link to you guys independently.
Oh, okay.
You just
Okay.
shot my hand.
Okay.